Being Human, the course. So I was reading an article just in the Times, a guy called Mo Gaudat, who was a senior figure in Google X, and that's their kind of moonshot division where they get to test out all sorts of ideas. And he's written a book about the future of AI, which basically says AI will rule the world. And then he's asking the questions beneath that around ethics, around could AI have a soul? Can it be creative? In what way can it do that? And it's a really interesting article, and he talks about the death of his son and how that shaped some of his thinking. And I was really struck by that conversation. Son was about 20, 21 years old when he died. And he talks about the body was there, and yet he wasn't. He talks about the soul, and not an ounce of his weight had changed, and yet something was missing. And this week in the Being Human Project, we've been presenting and engaging with our council. It's a whole list of kind of church and organisational leaders and various people around the ideas of being human. We've been talking about the importance of significance, that you matter, and questions around identity and the complexity of being human, the importance of connection and relationships, the importance of presence, of being there, the place that we are in the world, the cultures that we get to inhabit, and then how we participate in the world. And we're putting these things together in a lens, and that's the course that we want to run shortly. So we want to run a beta version of that. We are kind of asking some of you to be guinea pigs on that. We're really excited. So during November, we're going to run that online in some shape or form. We'd love to hear from you. We want to engage you. So more of that is coming. We're just kind of floating the idea. We've reached the stage we want to take things out into the public domain. Hear so much more from you. And in the meantime, we just want to remind you about the podcast. We're really excited. Ryan has got an article, really interesting, again, reflecting on language and poetry and how that shapes us. He refers back to Karen Swallow Pryor, who we did the interview with a few weeks ago. If you haven't picked that up on the podcast, this week, I'm really excited. Our interview with Carl Trueman is going out. So Carl Trueman wrote a book about the rise and triumph of the modern self, his thinking about individualism, how we got to this profoundly individualistic culture has really helped us as a project. And actually next week we're interviewing our good friend Israel Olafanjana, who leads our One People Commission, and reflecting on race and power and identity and mental health and climate change, a whole series of things in a really fascinating conversation. So please do look out for the course coming soon. Check out some of the articles and continue with us in this journey as we start to go a little bit more public on some of our thinking about being human. Be blessed.